My name is Gabriel Carmona Aparicio. I am the Circularity Research Manager at the Aluminium Stewardship Initiative. This will be a quick overview of our work on advancing circularity in the aluminum value chain, mindful of the time, but aiming to cover the key points and insights. So today, I will walk you through how circularity can support climate goals, improve resource efficiency, and create new opportunities across the aluminum sector. So here are the global drivers of emissions, 75% related to energy. Three major energy strategies have been at the forefront. We have clean electricity, switching from fossil fuel to bioequivalents, and carbon capture and storage. These are critical to reaching Paris Agreement targets, but they're not enough. So materials such as aluminium are often missing from the picture, despite being central to emissions. How we produce, use, and reuse materials must be part of the solution. This is where circularity comes in. So lack of holistic policies is a barrier, but we also see persistent myths around circularity. The first being circularity is just recycling. Let's explore why that's not the case. So the aluminum sector emits around 1 billion tons of CO2 annually. To follow the 1.5 degree pathway, this must drop by 25% by 2030, 70% by 2035, and 95% by 2050. So IAI identified three pathways to get there. So one is electricity decarbonization, the second one is reducing direct emissions in refineries and smelters, and the third one is recycling. So today we recycle 22 million tons of post-consumer scrap. To meet climate goals, this must triple to 69 million tons by 2050. That's about the current size of the primary aluminum industry. If we also count pre-consumer scrap, we're looking at over 18 million tons more. But it's not just about volume, it's about collection and quality. So we need over 90% collection rates and scrap that can substitute primary alloys, or new alloys that can absorb lower grade scrap. So in summary, reaching climate targets means sourcing lower carbon primary aluminum and using high quality scrap or metal with a higher recycled content. Both supply chains will remain tight well into the second half of the century. So basically, recycling is essential, as I just said, but that's not enough. We need a broader approach, which is called circularity. So this iceberg shows the challenge. 80% of companies stop at recycling, which is just the surface. Instead, we should be asking, how do we keep products in use longer? How do we get them back? How do we turn them into new products again and again? Because beneath that iceberg lies value. So let's stretch more cash, if we can say. Myth number 2, it's carbon tunnel vision. So circularity is more than decarbonization. It also addresses wider environmental and social impacts. We now cross 6 of the 9 planetary boundaries, from climate change to chemical pollution and fresh water. Circularity helps across multiple boundaries, not just carbon, by reducing extraction, regenerating systems, and designing out waste. So the myth number 3 is circularity will end primary aluminum. Even with high recycling rates, primary aluminum will still supply 50% of demand by 2050. Why? Because scrap availability in the right quality and volume will remain limited. So we need to combine smarter scrap recovery and low carbon primary production. So final myth is circularity is a cost. So today's linear economy, take, make, use, dispose, is unsustainable. Global waste is projected to rise 70% by 2050. So circularity isn't a burden, it's an opportunity for innovation, resource efficiency, and long-term savings. So basically, the circular economy is a system solution to eliminate waste, circulate non-biological materials, regenerate biological ones, and all by design. This butterfly diagram shows how materials can loop instead of ending. Circularity means designing products to begin again, not to end. So at ASI, we have taken a holistic view of circularity, not just recycling, but reducing resource use and closing loops across the entire value chain. We work through six different key areas: circularity framework, standards and guidance, the working group, knowledge networks, training, and research. So our circularity framework helps members structure their efforts around one, life cycle stages, so everybody in the aluminum value chain can participate. Roles in changes: you can be an enabler, an influencer, or an adopter of the circular economy. Through the R strategies, from refuse, rethink, regenerate, recycle, through circular business models, so improving the revenue of companies, and finally measuring the impacts of the circular economy. So this helps members identify where to act and how to act. So our role is to translate also global goals and requirements into practical guidance. This is our standards and our guidance. So circularity is built into principle 4 of the performance standards and all the criteria in terms of eligible scrap in our chain of custody standards. We've also developed non-normative guidance on design for circularity and circular planning for mine closure and rehabilitation. The Circularity Working Group focuses on material stewardship, stakeholder engagement, continuous evaluation of practices. With the upcoming revision of standards, circularity will be more deeply embedded. So the group acts as a sounding board during the revision, covering topics such as waste valorization, extended producer responsibility, process scrap, inclusion, etc. Now, we also engage in global networks like the ISO Technical Committee 3 on circular economy. So on screen, you will see the new ISO 15000 series covering aspects such as vocabulary, business models, and circularity datasheets, etc. So these different networks enhance the knowledge of ASIs and our members on circular economy. So understanding of circularity is still low. On a survey done in the UK in 2021, only 4% of the respondents could define what circular economy was. So we're bridging this gap with webinars, targeted trainings, and new content on Elementor. So recordings of all these materials are available on ASAP's website, and more are on the way. Now, our research look at life cycle assessments, stocks modeling, circularity reporting. Particularly in 2025, we're launching an initiative to support the integration of waste pickers into formal recycling systems. This is our CARE project, the Collective Action for Recycling and Empowerment. The idea is to support both sustainability and social inclusions, which are core values at ASI. So these are the 10 partners of the project, and we're being supported by the ICL Innovations Fund. So as a final thoughts, just to think that the circularity is not just a technical fix, it's a strategic opportunity. It lets us rethink how we produce, use, and recover aluminium in line with environmental and social priorities, and whether it's an increasing scrap recovery, defining alloys for reuse, or including waste pickers. Circularity helps us move more from ambitions to actions, but this can happen in silos. So I will leave you with this. What role can you play? Every part of the value chain has a role in shaping a more circular sector. So let's move beyond compliance towards shared responsibility and a sustainable future.